What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update and election update. Today is election day, and we're going to talk about what President Donald Trump needs to do to actually win this, or vice versa. What if he doesn't do, he will not win, and Joe Biden will win. And I'm also going to give you an update from Nancy Pelosi regarding the second stimulus package and the second stimulus check after the election and what she expects to happen. Now, for President Donald Trump to win this election, there will be several key states or battleground states that he will have to win with a very slim margin of error. He will have to win the vast majority of these states that I'm going to tell you here going forward, or else he will have an incredibly hard time actually winning this election. The first four we're going to talk about are Texas, Georgia, Ohio, and Arizona. These four states equal 83 electoral votes. These are the first states that he will have to win to have a fighting chance. People expect him to win in Texas, but Texas polls have shown that it's actually very close and is actually voting much more Democratic than they have in this entire century. Now, these four states have traditionally been voting Republican in recent years, but in this particular presidential race, the polls and the results are going to be much closer than in previous years. Now, of those four states, Ohio is the only state that has voted Democratic in this century. Ohio actually voted for Barack Obama for both terms in 2008 and 2012. So he will definitely need to take Ohio this time around and get the 18 electoral votes from Ohio. Those four states, again, equal 83 electoral votes, which he will desperately need to pull ahead in the lead. Now, if he wins those four states, he will be up to 208 electoral votes. Texas is already counted for him in this, so that would take him to 208 electoral votes. They need 270 electoral votes to be declared a winner. Either person reaches 270, and they have the majority, and they will be the winner. Now, Florida is one of the biggest key points to this election. There has not been a Republican in an entire century that has won the presidential election race without winning Florida. It's an absolutely crucial state to either Joe Biden or President Donald Trump being elected. Florida is 29 electoral votes, and that's just over 10% of what you need to win. So you can see how Texas is such a big swing state. So is Texas, New York, and California, but they have rightfully so voted for California and New York have voted Democratic for many, many years in a row, and so has Texas voted Republican, although Texas is very close this year around. Now, if President Donald Trump does win Florida like he did in 2016, that would take him to 237 electoral votes. Now, if Trump cannot win Florida and he loses those 29 votes over to Biden, it will be extremely difficult for him to win. He would have to sweep several other states that just makes it much, much harder for him to win. President Donald Trump needs to win Florida if he wants to have a fighting chance at winning this election. And he did win it in 2016. Now, two more states that are going to be very important for President Donald Trump is Iowa and North Carolina. That is another 21 votes there. President Donald Trump won both of those in 2016, but the polls show that it's extremely close in both Iowa and North Carolina, within 1%. So these could go either way. President Donald Trump would also need to sweep both of these. I mean, he could lose a state like Iowa, which is only 6 electoral votes, but he really needs to win the vast majority of these states that we're talking about to be reelected, because he needs to hit that 270 votes. And Joe Biden pretty much has a lock on California and New York, which is 84 votes alone just between those two states. So that kind of gives him like a big head start. And that pretty much has given a lot of Democratic candidates a big head start because they just vote Democratic. So if Trump wins Iowa and North Carolina both, that would take him to 258 electoral votes, on which he will only need 12 more votes to reach the 270 needed to win. Now, that leaves one crucial state left, and that's Pennsylvania, which is worth 20 electoral votes. He really needs to win this. He won it in 2016, but recent polls has shown that Joe Biden is ahead by a few percent. So a few percent could swing either way. For example, if Trump wins Pennsylvania, he could lose Iowa and still have enough electoral votes to win. But the way these are going, he's going to have to win the vast majority of these swing states here, Arizona, and all of these eastern swing states, and that will give him enough votes, 270 electoral votes, to be declared the winner. Let me know if you think he can do it. I'm surprised with 100 million votes done before the election that we don't have a lot more news out yet about actual results. And it seems that a lot of states have just started counting today. In fact, Pennsylvania, in several counties, is not even going to start counting their mail in ballots in several counties until tomorrow, the day after the election, which kind of makes no sense to me at all. I feel like a lot of these states should have been counting this before the election because we had plenty of time. And why scramble to do it now on election day when you have all these people actually going to the polls or actually going to vote in person? I really feel like they should have started counting this a lot earlier, but I will have a lot more details for this with you guys later on this evening as we get actual results coming in. Okay, next up, I have House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and leader of the Democrats in the House of Representatives on what to expect regarding stimulus and the stimulus package negotiations after the election. A lot of people have said once this election is over, which probably will be by tomorrow, or at least we'll have a pretty good idea of who has won, that then a lot of the political agendas actually go away and they can then start to focus on getting more relief to the people. In fact, we've actually had some Senate Republicans say that after the elections, they can then vote yes on more stimulus packages because they won't have to worry about what they call their voter base not wanting them to spend exorbitant amounts of money on stimulus packages, or at least that's what they say. So, Senate Republicans say that they will actually be more likely to vote yes for stimulus packages after the election. And of course, we know Nancy Pelosi probably delayed the stimulus package because of President Donald Trump, her saying that she didn't want a check to go out with President Donald Trump's name right before the election. So a lot of this political pressure will be over starting tomorrow. All right, let's hear what Nancy Pelosi has to say regarding stimulus after the election.
Role that is needed to follow the science.
Let's talk about Congress's unsuccessful efforts to pass another coronavirus relief package. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is saying a new COVID relief bill won't happen before the end of the year, and Congress doesn't generally have success getting big things done after an election. Are Americans going to have to wait until there is a new Congress to see a new round of COVID relief?
Well, I certainly hope not, because American people need us to act now. In our bill, the HEROES Act, we are insisting that the administration have a strategic plan to crush the virus: testing, tracing, treatment, sanitation, mask wearing, and the rest. That was what was suggested, with the thought that, of course, it would be done, but the administration has refused to follow the science. They have contempt for science, and they have 220,000 people with flags waving in their honor this morning. 150,000 of those probably would not have had to die if they had acted when we passed the bill. Instead, Mitch McConnell said, I want to pause. Now he wants to pause 2-3 months longer. The virus is not taking a pause, Mitch McConnell. We must act upon it. We owe it to the American people.
Let's talk about what might happen in the election tomorrow, because there are a lot of dire scenarios if the vote does not produce a decisive result. Some of those scenarios involve you as the Speaker of the House. Are you confident in the resilience of American democratic systems to handle a contested election if it comes to that?
Our country is a great country. We're even great enough to survive one term of Donald Trump. 2 terms would be such a serious setback that I worry for our country. The
But
week
what if the outcome is disputed? What if this is being fought in the courts or there is a constitutional crisis? I mean, there are all kinds of scenarios. And in some of them, the Speaker of the House plays a prominent role.
and the Speaker of the House is ready for that prominent role. But let's not worry about that right now. What we want to be ready for is a big vote tomorrow to dispel any thought other than that on January 20th, Joe Biden will be inaugurated President of the United States, that we will have a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate.
So, if you do control the House, the Senate, and the White House, I know there's a lot you would like to get done. What is at the top of your list?
So Nancy Pelosi thinks that the Democrats are going to take the House and the Senate and the presidency. Of course, President Donald Trump thinks the exact opposite. He thinks they're going to retain the Senate and take over the House. That's what makes this election so big. But let's get back to Nancy Pelosi and see what she says here.
Our list, when we win, we will lower the cost of health care by lowering the cost of prescription drugs, saving the pre-existing condition benefit, etc. We will increase paychecks by building the infrastructure of America in a green way, and we will have cleaner government by passing H.R. 1 legislation to reduce the role of big, dark, special interest money. The list goes on, but the overarching will be the first three. Of course, we will be impacted by the coronavirus, and that will be part of our early agenda as well.
And if the election doesn't go your way, and President Trump does win a second term, which I know you don't want to see, but will you be able to rebuild a relationship with him? I understand the two of you haven't spoken for more than a year.
We've spoken, it's about a year. I mean, I spoke to him at the joint session of Congress, the State of the Union address. Now, I have a really very difficult time speaking with the president. I'm doing everything in my power, not want to waste any energy talking about him right now, to make sure he does not get elected president of the United States again. And his lack of patriotism to question the outcome of the election is further evidence as to why he should not be elected.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, thank you so much for speaking with us once again.
Stay safe. Thank you.
That's why this election is so important, because will Nancy Pelosi be reelected? Will Mitch McConnell be reelected? Who will control the House and the Senate? And of course, who will be the president? I will be having more updates for you guys later tonight. I will be having an 8 p.m. show, and I may be having some more videos before and after that. So make sure to check my channel. You can click the bell icon if you want to get notifications. But YouTube will only send out 3 notifications per day for a channel, and I may be having a few more videos tonight because of how important this election is, along with Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi's reelection and the House and the Senate. So make sure to like this video and subscribe down below if you haven't yet. You can click on this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check videos next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income by selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.